One of the first hurdles when we start a business is usually the finances. The first question we usually ask ourselves after we come up with the idea of starting a business: how am I supposed to pay for this? Where is the money supposed to come from? We may have an excellent idea, but we don't have any money. So we always question ourselves, how are we supposed to make this happen if we don't have any money? Or maybe you do have a little bit of money, but you have this huge vision in your head of exactly how you want your business to run. So now you feel like you might need $10,000 to start this business, or $30,000, and you're trying to figure out where is all that money supposed to come from, because you have a little, but you don't have that much money. So once we have that question in our head, we start researching to figure out where is this money supposed to come from? Who can we get this money from? And typically loans is the first place to go to. So should you start a business out by taking out a loan? What's up, icons? It's the iconic fashion figure back with a new video. And as you can see, we're going to talk about if you should start your business by taking out a loan. I'm going to first go through the pros and cons of actually starting your business with a loan, and then I'll go through some tips of how you can get the money to start your business. So I'll start with the cons. I'll do the bad news first, and then we'll go into the good news before we get into the tips. One of the biggest downfalls of starting a business with a loan is you're starting your business in debt. If you know, and I'm sure you probably heard already if you've been doing research on getting a business started, in your first year of starting a business, typically it's hard to actually make a profit in that first year. Most people at least shoot for break even. You may even end up in the red in your first year, meaning you take a loss because you've invested so much to get started. So the last thing you want to do is add more debt on top of that when you're at least trying to break even, hopefully even make a profit in your first year. So starting a business on a loan equivalents to starting out with debt, and debt is something you want to avoid because you don't want this to cause your business to fail in your first year. Also, as a startup, it's hard to find loans that are willing to fund a startup business, especially if you're in the fashion industry and you're opening up a boutique. They see that as a high-risk industry. So getting a loan is pretty difficult as a startup. And then if you look into loans, if you haven't already, a lot of them want you to have already been in business for a year or 2 years. They want that proof. They want to see what type of income you're currently generating off of your business. So as a startup, it's hard to get a loan. Typically, those loans that you apply for as a startup either will be a personal loan, or you have to provide a personal guarantee, which means it's affecting your credit personally. So if your business were to fail, you're still liable for paying off that loan because it's on your personal credit. And with that being said, you will still have to pay that loan back. And in the first year, when you're not making a profit, the last thing you want to do is have to owe someone some money. So starting out a business with a loan may not be the best idea. I'm only going to do 3 cons because you guys can now see where this is going. As far as the pros for starting a business on a loan, I really only have one. And basically, starting out a business with a loan means you can start sooner, or you may be able to buy a larger inventory to get started so you can actually have that business that you envision in your head. That's pretty much it as far as the pros that I can come up with when it comes to starting a business with a loan. So to answer my question from the beginning of the video, should you start a business with a loan? As you guys can probably see, I'm going to tell you no, I don't recommend it. Now let's say you have this idea and you already have the business plan out and you can already see, you know for sure that yes, you're going to make a profit in your first year. Maybe a loan isn't such a bad idea because you know for sure that you can pay it back. Or maybe you're starting like a franchise, and because you're starting out a business that's already well known, and that may be okay to start a business with a loan. But if you ask me, especially us as small business owners that I'm speaking to right now, I would not recommend starting your business out on a loan. Now, so what can you do to get money to start a business? Because we all know it's tough to start a business with no money. You've already heard my story if you've watched the video on how I started my business. With no money, I had to... Actually, I'm not even going to tell you guys. You can go watch it if you haven't watched it yet. But one thing you can do is look for alternatives other than loans, such as grants. There's a lot of grants out there that you can get that you don't need to pay back. So if you want to start your business on someone else's money, a grant is the way to go. You don't have that stress on your shoulders interest that I gotta hurry up and pay this money back, and with interest, which means I owe them more than they even gave me. But a grant over a loan, I would definitely say go with. You can look into crowdfunding. So there's a lot of websites out there now where you can basically submit your pitch out there as far as your business, and you can have people invest into your business. It's not technically an investor, but it's a type of investment to help you get started, like the website Kickstart. I know this is usually for me last on the list, but if you have family and friends you can go to borrow money, you can try that as well. Try to get a loan out of them and then tell them, you know, you'll give them something later on, or maybe they won't want anything for it. Like I said, that's usually last on my list. I'll go hustle for it before I ask someone else. That's just my pride, but that's an option. For those of you that may have a little bit of money, but in your head you feel like you need a large lump sum of money to get started, consider starting smaller than what you think you need right now. Trust me, I was that person where I kept saying I need X amount of dollars to get started. I need to have money to be able to do this, do that. I didn't need any of that. I got started without all of that. When you start out with a little bit of money and just start out on a small scale, it'll feel like more of a side hustle, but that side hustle can grow into something major if you're really dedicated to it. So start smaller if you can with a smaller amount of money, and then just grow it gradually. Trust me, it works. Or even if you don't want to start your actual business feeling like a side hustle, find a different side hustle that you can start to fund your business. So you can do something like become a notary, because it doesn't require you to buy a bunch of inventory or anything like that. You just need to be certified for it, and then you can offer this service off to other people. Find little side hustles you can do like that, and take that money and then invest it into starting your business. If you have to, if you don't want to deal with starting some type of side hustle, part-time job will work too, because in the beginning your business may be more like a part-time job anyway while you still work your 9 to 5. So do a part-time job for like 6 months, save up that money, invest it into your business. Another thing you can consider, which was one of the things for me that was a no, but I'll share with you guys in case it's something that resonates with you. Have you considered bringing in a partner that can help you fund this? I didn't want a partner because I wanted this to myself. This was my business, this was my vision, and I didn't want anyone trying to change what it was that I was trying to do. But if you have someone that is like-minded, that's also trying to achieve the same goals, maybe you can come together and start out together. And then one of the other tips I can give you, which I definitely did, and I'm so grateful that I did do it, is try to live a minimal lifestyle. Cut out all the things that you don't really need and only focus on the things you do need, because then you can use that extra money and invest in yourself. For instance, for a while I did not have cable. I didn't need cable. I barely watched TV. People try to talk to me about TV and movies. I don't even know what they're talking about, because that's not my thing anyway, so why pay for something I don't need? For a while I even got rid of my internet and only used hotspot on my phone, and then eventually added internet back once my business started growing. I knew I needed internet. Do whatever you can do to cut back on your life. I know there's things that we feel like we cannot live without. Trust me, you'd be surprised at things you can live without once you no longer have them. A lot of the things we live with are luxuries and we don't need them. So try to live a minimal lifestyle so that way you can invest into yourself, and once you invest in yourself, you can get those things back. Like I was always told, you have to become uncomfortable to live comfortably for the rest of your life. So get ready to get uncomfortable so you can achieve the things that you want. But that's pretty much it for this video. It was short and straight to the point. No, I don't recommend a loan for someone that's just starting out. If you've exhausted all options and that's your only hope and you're okay with taking that risk, by all means do it. Don't let me be the person to stop you just because you feel like you shouldn't take out a loan. If that's what you have to do, do what it is you have to do. I would just look into other options before you actually go with the loan. Thank you for watching.